A few days ago, after a long day outside, I walked into my home around 7 p.m, where my cat, Amore, was waiting for me. She greeted me at the top of the stairs, in her usual way, just her little head poking out, her wide eyes watching me with that mix of curiosity and warmth that only she has. She gave a soft, welcoming meow, sniffing the air like she was saying, "Welcome back." Now, Amore isn't one for clinging or fussing. She's got her own quiet way of showing affection. That day, she patiently trailed behind me as I went through my usual routine, washing my hands, slipping into something more comfortable. She watched me from the bathroom doorway, waiting without a sound, never intruding, just being there. I could feel her presence like an anchor, a little heartbeat grounding me back into myself after a busy day. And when I was finally settled, it was our moment. She padded over to me for her nightly brush, her favorite vegetable brush from IKEA that for some reason she loves like nothing else. Maybe it reminds her of a mother tongue, the soft scrape of it, somehow comforting. And she let me brush her, purring all the while. In that quiet, warm moment, I thought, I need to remember this. So I picked her up gently, placed her on my desk, tidy for once, and we snuggled together for photo. She doesn't like pictures much, but she sat with me just long enough to snap a shot that became my favorite photo of us. Later, I shared it on Instagram with a slowed down version of "You Are My Sunshine," the same song I used to sing to her when she was a scruffy little kitten. But if you've told me years ago that I will have a cat like this, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Living in London, finding a landlord willing to allow pets was a challenge. Plus, I worried that I wouldn't have the time or the heart to care for a little creature with my busy life. The thought of attaching myself to something that could be taken away or left behind was too heavy. So I would convince myself that a cat was in the cards. Then, one evening, a friend invited me over for dinner. She had a beautiful garden and 4 cats. And her youngest cat, despite her best efforts, kept finding its way to get pregnant. That evening, my friend opened her bedroom door, revealing the tiniest, fluffiest kitten I will ever see. Big height and curious, she bounced around the room as if she would never know anything but joy. My friend explained that the kitten had been found on the road, injured but healing well, and had been living with her for a week. She asked me, half joking, "Do you want to take her? I already have 4 and one of them is way too territorial to accept another." That was the night Amore came into my life. I named her Amore, Italian word for love, because even then I knew she was filling a gap in my heart, and I took inspiration from an Italian movie called Tutta colpa di Freud, where one of the main characters gives the dog to his partner and name it Ti amo. That means I love you, as a way to hear her say those words, since she has trouble expressing them directly to him. As time passed, Amore became my closest companion. She was there through everything, the dark times, the moments when I felt like I was falling apart, when my health faltered, when relationships dissolved, when my career seemed uncertain, and when just getting out of bed felt impossible. Amore was there. Her love was unwavering, a quiet, grounding presence. She taught me about real love, the kind that shows up day after day, even when things are hard. In her own way, she kept me going, remind me every day that there was something worth getting up for someone who needed me. So, if there is one thing Amore has taught me, it's this: love doesn't always arrive with grand gesture or perfect timing. Sometimes it comes softly on 4 tiny paws with a quiet meow and a patient heart. It doesn't ask for much, it just shows up day after day in the simplest, truest way. We spend so much time searching for meaning, for purpose, for someone or something to make us feel whole, but sometimes that wholeness finds us first. In the quiet moment, in the soft rhythm of a pour, in the gentle presence that asks for nothing but your time and tenderness. Amore reminds me that love isn't about possession or perfection. It's about staying. It's about showing up again and again, even on the days when you have nothing to give. It's in the small, steady gesture, the nudge of a head, the weight of trust, the silence that somehow says, I'm here, you are not alone. So tonight, when you go home and see your pet waiting at the door, or even if it's just the stillness that greets you, pause for a second, feel that moment. That's love too. Because in the end, it's not about how loudly we say, I love you, but how softly we live it every single day in the quiet ways that matters most. Now, every time I look at that photo, my breath catch for a moment. That quiet ache of love and memory rising inside me. It holds more than just a moment. It's a fragment of our shared story. A quiet testament to all the days we have waited together. She chose me again and again in her own silent way. And I will never stop being grateful for that. For her trust, her patience, her unspoken love. So here's to her, my little ball of fluff, my tiny pumpkin pie wrapped in four, my Amore. If you have found yourself hesitating to open your heart to a pet or a person, to love itself, I hope our story finds you gently. Because sometimes the love we're most afraid to let in is the one that mends us piece by piece. And maybe that's the secret of it all. Love doesn't always come to save us with noise or drama. Sometimes it just walks in quietly, curls up beside us, and stays. As always, love you. See you in the next one.